Yes, so we're learning Parshat Masei. We're going to do a little change with my holy brother Ari. We usually learn the Maran or Tanya, the breasts of Chabad. Today we're going to switch it up a little bit and learn some mainstream Chassidus. I don't know if that makes sense, mainstream, whatever. General Chassidus from each branch of the Chassidus from the Baal Shem, it all goes back to the Baal Shem, so in the end it's all the same source. Baal Shem Tov HaKodesh, which if you go back for the Baal Shem Tov, goes back to the Arizal. If you go to Arizal, goes back to Shem B'chai, go back to Moshe Rabbeinu, and that, we all meet at the source. But the point is that this holy sefer Toras Emmes is from a Leibel Eiger. Leibel Eiger, it's good once in a while to do a little summary of who we're learning from, get a little bit of history, but more importantly, connect ourselves to these holy souls. With Leibel Eiger, Husanena was a son of a Shlomo Eiger, who was himself a big personality and rich, famous Jew of his time, and to his well-known, famous Gaonish father, Rabbi Akiva Eiger, famous Rabbi Akiva Eiger. So he was a grandson, and Rabbi Eiger was brought up to be a Letvak, and in terms of yeshiva shaderech of learning and Gemara and Rashi Tosfos and Pesach, and to be a Gadol b'Torah and all that stuff.
So how long ago did he live?
In the 1800s, and he went on a journey, and he ended up getting connected to the Chozeh of Linz, the Beis Midrash and Torah. I don't know if he actually met him, but he had a connection with him, and he started getting on fire for Chassidus, and ended up by the Kotzker Rebbe, who was the big Rebbe at that time. Kotzk had a break off at one point. It was Izbich, was what we learned with Rav Shlomo in the Beis Midrash here every Shabbos day. 8 o'clock we learned from the Meishlach, was the Izbich Rebbe. And the Leibel Eiger went with him, went with the Izbitcher, as well as his Chavrusa, Rav Hakohen. Rav Hakohen was also from Lublin. Yeah, they were both from Lublin, and like the Chozeh of Lublin. So they had a connection there. And they were Chavrusas. The Rav Tzadok was known as the Quiet Kohen at that point. He didn't say much publicly, but he was a huge compiler of Torah. We don't actually have all this Sfarim because there was a big fire that burned a lot of the Sfarim, but what we do have is already a massive amount, just what we have that wasn't burnt, consumed. So it's huge Torahs, but he was a Chavrus of Leibel Eiger. Leibel Eiger's path is, as I said, it's Chassidus, but it's with the Izbitcher flow. He's taking from his Rebbe, the Izbitcher Rebbe, and he has his own unique way of giving it over. He has two Sfarim, Emmes, Toras Emmes. Emmes is on Toras, he said Shabbos, like actual Toras. You can see what he said at his Shabbos Tish. Now Shabbos, Shabbos Day, Shabbos Sidus. You can see the 3 meals of Shabbos, what he said over. Or you can learn Toras Emmes, which is more like a regular sefer in terms of organized according to the Parsha, and it's more formulated, the Fia Parsha, not the Fia Shabbos table, Joshua, which is a bit more relaxed and more ruchnius, more like natural flowing. But nevertheless, somehow Leibel Eiger manages to bring that vibe into even his more formulated Torahs. It's very sweet. It's very uplifting, very inspiring. Moshe Weinberger held it like the chocolate. It's like the most delicious kind of Torah. And he also said that it was a very good contrast to Rav Tzadok, who was more like the intellectual explanation of what it is, which says Rav the Leibel Eiger was more like the experience of what the Izbitcher said, what he actually was, the point of what he was saying, like the experience. So you feel it, it gets to your heart, and which makes sense. It's still amazing because such a Gaonish family, the Eiger family, and he became such a Chassidish tzaddik, and he has children who continue that on, and I think some of them are still around today, and they're the ones who put out this reformulated sefer. As you see, it says Lublin on it. And if you ever went to Leibel, you'd be able to go to his graveside by Rav Tzadok. He's buried together with Rav Tzadok, and I believe with the Chozeh in the same place. And my son was there recently, Menachem Dov. So he had the merit to be by Leibel as yeshiva there and all the different places. And he's actually going back for Uman Rosh Hashanah. But before he goes to Uman Rosh Hashanah, he's going to go to Leibel, I think, and Legent again. He's going there before for Shabbos, so he'll be connecting to that kind of tzaddikim. This, if you want to know where Kotz comes from the derech of the Yiddish Kodesh. The Yiddish Kodesh was also connected to the Chozeh and also the Magen Mezrich, And it became like a new path in Chassidus, very much connected to the Maharal. And when we learned Sfas Emmes, we mentioned a lot about the Maharal. When you learn with Leibel, you don't feel it as much, maybe because it is took it in a slightly different way. But let's go. The point of learning the history is you start to realize, we haven't given over. I've been learning Toras Emmes since I actually got to the frat, which is almost 2 years coming up to in Chodesh Cheshvan. So I've been learning with Dr. Chaim Yuneman. We learn it every week. This week, because I was in Tanya, we didn't learn. So I thought, I already did Look at Tomorrow, and I did the Tanya learning this week with someone else. So I thought we'd do something different, just to give you background while we're learning this.
Perfect, thank you for the background.
And I think it's a good intro. It gives you an understanding that the Siddiqim, everything has a place, and the Shamas came exactly when they're supposed to be there and give us a certain light. And you'll see when you're learning now, we're going to see, Masei b'nei Yisrael. These are the journeys of b'nei Yisrael. What have we been doing this week? Traveling. What do people do during this time of year? They go on holiday. So we learn Parshat Masei. But there's more to it than that. There's 42 journeys. That's connected the 42 journeys people have in life. The Am Yisrael had in the Midbar. This is also connected to the 42 parts of the 21 days we're in, the 3 weeks, because there's 21 nights, 21 days. So they can bring. There's a lot of significance in these 42 days, and you can learn out your whole life from these 21 days, 42 parts of these 21 days.
See, there's another reason why you decided to switch books today.
Yeah.
Because 10 years ago, I only noticed this because I was when I was learning the Parsha this week.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago, I was standing for like a Shmona Esrei at Shachris.
Yeah.
And like something just like took over me, and I basically told Hashem, like, I'm ready to like change my life, and I'm gonna stop any nonsense, only work on good things. And then for like the first time ever during the week, I went and I grabbed the Chumash for Kriyat Torah. Yeah. And the first pasuk said, "Man can make a neder, but he must keep it."
Parshas Matot, Masei.
Yeah.
Wow. So these two parshas, they really are transformative. And they do come together this week. So
last week we did
Pinchas.
And then
this week is Matos Masei.
Right. So and it's Matos, right?
Yeah. So it's together, really. And he actually brings. You know what? Maybe we'll learn that Torah instead.
No, it's fine.
No, he has a time where he joins the two together.
It's a very intense parsha, actually. Speaking.
Oh, that's in Emmes is where he joins the two together. Here he doesn't join the two together. Maybe at the back. Let me just see. Sometimes you just see it's just a different kind of vibe when the two parshas are together, rather than separating them out. But there is an intrinsic connection when there's like a zivug between parshas when they're joined together. Mm-hmm. So like this year we didn't join Balak and Chukas. We didn't join Tazria and Masur. We didn't because we had a leap year. So a lot of parshas weren't joined together. This is the first week in a long time, maybe this whole year, I don't know. I don't remember any other time we joined any parshas together this year. I don't think we did. We separated them out. This whole year, because of a leap year, we didn't join any parshas together. So comes Matos Masei, and we're making a yichud, joining two parshas together. There's a lot of significance. So there is a transformative parsha. The learning I just did before we came here for Muna IP, for the office there, we have a weekly learning session, so we learn about how Torah transforms you. The point of learning Torah is to transform yourself. That was exactly what we learned, and the name of the shir is transforming ourselves. So you just brought it up. And Matos Masei has in it a power, because it's the journeys of your life, and how you speak, Matos is all about vows and the dome, how you speak, and also even the rest of the parsha is very transformative. We're trying to transform the booty from the nations, so we're purifying it, so that we can use, Am Yisrael can use their kalim. We can transform their vessels into kosher vessels. And that's a big part of transformation, is how you transform something not kosher to kosher. So Parshas Masei is of journeys. So he starts off the Parsha, Eila Masei b'nei Yisrael, V'su b'nei Yisrael Ramses, B'sukkos. He takes us out from Ramses to where? To go camp in V'yachnu B'sukkos. Eila Masei Gematria Yira. This is the first time I've ever heard this before. Yeah, maybe I've learned it one time, but I didn't remember it. From Leibel Eiger. He's saying that Eila Masei is the numerical value of the word Yira, which you can translate as fear, but I'd prefer to translate as awareness or awe. Ramaz Bezer al Ma'ayim Chazal says in Brochus Lamegimel, Ein lo la Kodesh Baruch Hu ela otza shal Yirah Shamayim. Beautiful Gemara in Brochus, I'm sure you've learned it. There's no treasure trove or storehouse rather to Hashem rather than Yerushalayim. What is the storehouse of treasure to Hashem? Yerushalayim. Fear of God, or awesome relationship, or awareness of Shemayim.
I say the fear of God. It's the fear is that, like, if you sin, that you like bring yourself further from God.
Distant.
That's what you're afraid of.
Yeah. So really, what you're protecting is the relationship, which is beautiful. That's the right way of understanding it. Ki eila pasul etz kol chutz mizeh, because everything else is pasul except from this, as it goes on to say in Bereshis Rabbah. So the point is, the idea that we should protect it, our Yerushalayim, because if we don't, then everything else gets pasul. So say we've got all this storehouse, Amunis Yitecha, Chosin Yeshuas, Chochem V'das, says in the Gemara, all those different parts of Shas, Zraim, Moed, Yeshuas is all the different parts of Shas, all the different six Sidarim of Shas, the Zikin, I'm not forgetting it, Kodshim, that's near the end, Taharas, I missed that one, Moed, Soft Moed, Noshim, sorry, marriage, which is what Chosin, Yeshuas, Chosin is marriage, is all the Mukamaras of Kedushin and Gittin and all that, and then so these are 6 Sidarim of Shas, Bekitzer. So we have 6 Sidarim, and then the 7th is Yerushalayim, the Otzro. This is the treasure trove, the Gemara is saying. What the point is, when you're building your house, you're building Am Yisrael, you're building a home for Hashem in this world, you're building it with Shas, with all the different parts of Shas. With Zraim is Amunah, and Moed is Manim, is the time, everything has a time, everything has all the sectors of the Chagim, everything has a time. You go through Shas, you see it fixes it up your whole life. So we get to the end, seems a bit more abstract with Kodshim and Taharas, because we're not really so busy, but that's connected to the idea of, it says in that Parshat, is Chochma V'das. It gives us Chochma and Das, going to the Gemara. So now, what's the key to keep all those different parts of Shas, all the building worthwhile? The point is Yerushalayim. That's the Panemius. That's the point of entrance. We enter into this binyan that we built, is the Yerushalayim. That is the whole point, the relationship. The relationship, what you mentioned before, that is the point of it. All the learning, everything we're doing is about building that relationship with God. And that's Eila Masei. Eila Masei is Yira. So apparently the Sof Tevis of Hashem Roi Loichsa is Yira. The word Yud Ke Vav Ke is a Hey, Roi is a Yud, Lo is a Aleph, and Achsa, No Lak, is a Resh. Shesofi Tevis Osis Yira. The last letters is Yira. Kishorish Tachlis a Yira, he Makar Sheish Bor Olam Mashkiach Alakol. And the whole point and the purpose of the root of Yira, of having awe of Hashem, is to recognize there is a creator of the world, and he is Mashkiach. He runs everything. Runs things, as they say in London, in the slang, In the streets of London, they say, right, you run things, You ever heard that? We're not really into English slang, If you were, that's how they speak. Because the people, who's the one that run things? Hashem. Hashem's running everything. Bilti Shafa Hashgasa Ein Shum Saad Takuma Lashum Davar Ba'olam. And it's without any Shefa Hashgasa Ein Shum. There's nothing else in the world that's running this world. It's only Hashem. We think maybe the government has some sort of influence, or maybe the weather, whatever the interest rates, whatever it is. You're in property. Whatever it is, you think runs the story. What runs the story? Not PayPal. Who runs the story? Hashem Yisrael. That's Yira. That's Hashem Roi Loichsa. Sof Tevis Yira. Eila Masei. Gematria. Masei. Eila Masei is Yira. Hashem's running everything. Not only is it the key to everything, because everything, all the Torah is Makayim through Yerushalayim. We just said all the Shas, but also that the idea that the world, everything functions with Hashem and Yiras Hashem. V'china Zos Nikra Hashem Roi. Hashem is my shepherd. Kamoshu Mariah Hason. He's, like we know, as a moshel, as an example, or a story, a version of it, is Hashem is shepherding the sheep, shepherding us. He's a shepherd. He looks like he doesn't let us get lost. Se'er Oved, as it says in David and Melech. Remember Yosef Kadona's beautiful song? He has a song called Se'er Oved, like a sheep that gets lost. a whole song about it. So the beauty is that we don't have any koch as a sheep does to really shepherd ourselves. We don't have any das, any knowledge how to shepherd ourselves. Without Hashem, we'd be completely lost. That decision you made was a gift from Hashem. You were a vessel for it, but He gave you the clarity to choose Him. Yeah? He's the one who's guiding us. It's very important to realize that at the end of the day. Only in that the shepherd is menelam. We don't see the shepherd. That's the crazy thing. And we don't see him. He's hidden from us. And in ways that we're not lacking. And He's awakening up this yira. So when a person comes in the beginning of things, he's very scared. Like he has a lot of things that he's scared from and fearing. It says in Kehelis that Hashem makes things for us to fear in front of us. Like we have some sort of lack. But when we start to enter into true yira, nimshach elav shefa kedusha beria amitis, then we come to true fear. The point is, we want to transform our fear of this world, of what Hamas and Hezbollah, Machshamam, and all our other enemies, Iran, and all these Machshamamnikas, and all the enemies around the world that want to do crazy stuff to Am Yisrael. We transform that fear. Instead of fearing them, we fear Hashem. It's a true fear. The true fear is that we transform all our fallen fears to fear of Hashem. This is something which Rav Tzadok, he talks about a lot in a different way. He brings it, like I said, there with chavrusas. He brings it in a more intellectual way. His whole kind of focus is that it's a waste of time to worry and fear. Yeah, but there's a ta'elas to it, that when you do have fallen fears, it actually purifies you. It's a beautiful concept. It brings in Sidchat Tzadok. The idea that you have fallen fears, you have moments where you're fearing things, it actually is a kapara that you won't actually have to go through it. So there is some ta'elas in some ways, that it's preventing you from having to suffer that. So sometimes when you have anxiety about something, it's Hashem's way of preventing you from going through whatever you're anxious about. So it actually can be quite a purifying experience. So rather than seeing anxiety as this mental, emotional issue, which it still is, but rather than only seeing it that way, you can also have a little bit of amunah and betochenu and ruchnius view of understanding it, that it's there to help you purify yourselves. Because instead of going through something like real in life, He's giving you just a feeling instead. And that in itself is enough to purify you for whatever issue you need purifying in. Does it make sense in life? I'll give you an example. I was working for Nissan Black. Yeah, I was his manager for many years, about 2 years almost. And we were traveling back to back for weeks and weeks. I was completely sleep deprived, which apparently Nissan is still going through till this day, because we were just on a chat and he was asking us not to make too many tours this time coming up, because he's just suffering from exhaustion. It is an exhausting life to travel on the road, to go from venue to venue, flight to flight. Especially now with all the flights being cancelled, you have to switch to Eliyahu this past day. Crazy stuff going on. So back then, there wasn't corona and there wasn't, wars. There was just, daily struggles of what life was then in the 2017-18 year when I was managing him. And what happened was I was in the middle of trying to sell 2 places to buy 1. And trying to run a sale and an acquisition while you're on the road, especially even more worse, I was in Los Angeles. We were dealing with AGT, all kinds of heavy stuff. And I was out there and the anxiety I suddenly developed. I never had an anxiety attack until that time. I was so sleep deprived, but combined with all the pressures of faxing and, internet wasn't totally developed. We weren't getting kinyanim like this time. I'm busy with some property stuff. It's all through email. I bet you do a lot through email. Back then, my bank would only accept faxes.
Right.
There are some banks that still do that. Thank God my bank's not doing that anymore. But the back then, so you have to be by a fax machine. It's a very unpractical, and it wasn't like now you can just take his picture and send it. You have to be by the fax machine. You need the original thing or whatever it is. and I was trying to coordinate getting this document from Yerushalayim to Tel Aviv and from this thing and that thing. And I was running a tour from This in Black, which in itself is a juggling, and all his stories and all the controversies and stuff that go on when you come to a community and they want you to do this, want you to do that, want you to do this, want you to do that, and all the commitments and the contracts. And I started freaking out. I was like having a proper anxiety attack. And it was a pachad, and I never had one before. And I'd always seen it around me, like my wife had them before. And until I had my own one, I don't think I fully appreciated how intense it was. But the point is, Rav Tzadok says that by having that, it purifies you from a lot of things. Thank God nothing went wrong. Everything worked out. The tours went fine. Properties went fine. Hashem cleansed me without having to see all the stories mess up. There was a massive time restraint on when the property would have to go through, and we're dealing with a big organization who would fine you if you did something wrong. So there was what to be scared of, but in the end it was just anxiety about nothing. But it was for the sake of what? Purification. That's the way you see it. When you're looking back, or if you're going into something like that again, you can prepare yourself to realize this is now a spiritual thing, not just a purely emotional, physical thing. The point is, the whole goal now, according to Leibel, Eiger, is to bring all those fallen fears and those fallen anxious moments, to bring them towards the true fear of Hashem. The Rosh Hakol b'shleimus bli chason klal v'klal. Mashikosav Yirai es Hashem Kedoshav, and we say this in Birkas Hamazon, and we know this is a big part of davening in Tehillim Lamed Daled and in Psalms 34, that you shall fear Hashem Kedoshav, His holy ones, ki ein machzor liyarav, and there will be nothing lacking from the ones who fear Him. We say this every day in benching, whenever we bench. I actually don't bench every day anymore because I stopped eating bread. I used to bench every day, but because of health, that's one of my diets. I've stopped. You stopped the booze, I stopped the bread. It was making me fat and heavy.
Have you lost some weight?
I've been doing it for years, so I'm sure I have. Because I used to be very skinny, so I think all the bread eating got me fat, and the late nights because I was a midnight rabbi. And then when I stopped eating bread, I don't think I got thin. I just didn't get fatter. Ramez shekashiyira hi bechinas Hashem roi. And this is a hint that Yira is the aspect of Hashem. So, for example, my wife made homemade hummus last night, spicy as anything, chorif, and like that's enough to put some Yira into you. That's that hummus. I was like almost choking on it. So I was eating this hummus, almost choking. These chilies were like, blew my head off. But I didn't wash. My wife was like, "Why aren't you washing?" I said, "I told you in the week I'm already eating bread." So I had chips. I dipped chips in it. That was fine. You won't lack. As long as you have the true Yira, you won't be lacking nothing. So we said, Sof Tavis, Hashem what he likes, so let's summarize. Means is Yira. Eila Masei, all these journeys we're going to go through in life, Yira. What's the point? To realize Hashem's running everything. He's running everything. That will give us the true understanding of what it means to fear. Fear Hashem. Only fear Hashem. Don't fear anything else. Don't fear people. What was the famous statement that Baal Shem Tov's father said to YISRAEL Baal Shem on his deathbed? You know what it is? It's good to know. The founder of Chassidus. What was the savar that his father told him, and then he went off with that to build the whole concept of Chassidus? What was the famous savar? Was that you should not fear anybody or anything other than Hashem. That was the savar. Maybe I didn't quote it exactly the words, but you should have no fear other than Hashem. No fear of people, no fear of anything. And that's something that gave the Baal Shem Tov strength when there was so much misnagdis towards the path he was on, to build a new path in Yiddishkeit. It was based on an old path, but it was renewing an old path, bringing it back. The Toras of Panemius, of Kabbalah, of the Arizal, and the Shem Bayachai, that got lost because of Hisnagdis, because of the with the fallen Mashiach and all this stuff. So he brought it back, the Baal Shem Tov, but the key was he had no fear. He wasn't scared of people. That gave him the strength to do what he did, to help bring the world to Mashiach, which is what Toras of Chassidus is preparation for. Ilka Kedush is Midas a year, Heba Kedush is a bris. Now this is going to get a bit more challenging. The main Kedusha of this Midah of Yira is guarding the holiness of the covenant, the bris. Kamashikos of Sod Hashem Li'Reav. The Sod Hashem, the secrets of Hashem are to those who fear Him. Brisei Lo Diyam. And His covenant would be those to know Him. So we see bris and Kedusha and Yira go together. Yedua Maima Hazara Kodesh Al Zeh Man Inan and secrets as well. Man Inyan Yirav Inyan Dechilei Chata. So who are they going to be? Yira, like you said, the ones who have fear towards sin. Daha Raza Dekaima Kedusha, and this will be the secret of establishing the holiness. Lo Atzchazi Eskale, and it will not be like revealed in the wrong way. Ba'alahu to those who are not. Zerem is B'milas Havaya Roy Lo Echsa Gematria Bris. Wow. So even the words Hashem Lo Echsa is what? Its numerical value as bris. So the word that we said, the Sof Tavis is Yira, those letters come together, all the letters in those words come together to be bris, covenant. The bris kodesh, the bris. Be'ezim Kedusha is a bris, who bechinas mila, priya. And Rabbi Leibel Eiger, another important fact about him, he was a mole, famous mole. And one of the things that people were misnagged him was he used to do mila very late. Because he had put a lot of time into the preparations of the bris milah, and he'd do it very late in the day. He got a lot of opposition for that, and yet he still went ahead. And so he's saying here, etzem kedushas of bris is the aspect of milah and priya. Milah is the first part where you cut away the ola, and the priya is revealing the bris. Milah hu bechinas yirachet, and milah is the aspect of fearing sin. L'shma b'kol minei pegamim, and you're going to protect yourself from all kinds of things that are going to blemish. The dachas is the klipas ola, and you're going to push away all the covering ups, which, one of them would be, God forbid, non-Jewish women, seeing things we shouldn't, There's lots you don't have to use your imagination. It's pretty obvious for our generation what the klipas ola, I would say a lot of the politicians are a bunch of klipa and ola, honestly, nowadays. Bechinas priyahu, his galas ahava, v'atshuka, l'shorish v'kedusha. And the aspect of prayer is to reveal the true love. So there's a Sumei Rav that I taught. The Sumei Rav is getting rid of all the klip and ola. And the prayer is to reveal the love and the desire to the root of holiness. The Zen Rem is Balme Menuchas Ina Aleini, Sofi Tevis Gematria Mila prayer. So he's very much into the Mizmor David. Hashem Moy Lak So. Obviously Shabbos, he was singing it when he formulated this Torah probably. And the idea that the pasuk of Binas Deshi Abiseni Amenimchas Ina Aleini, he says this pasuk, he's saying Almei Menuchas Ina Aleini is the Sof Tevis Mila prayer. So we had Yira, is Hashem Moy Laksa, the Binas Deshi Abiseni Amenuchas Ina Aleini is Sof Tevis prayer of Mila prayer. So we have another hint to these aspects. Remember, what was prayer? What was Mila? Mila is removing the ola. And prayer is what?
Showing it,
the ava, the kedusha, for the holiness, for the right thing. Take off beledas nefesh Yisrael meknisa nosav kedusha. And what happens when a boy is born, a nefesh Yisraeli? We straight away bring him into that holiness. The milas alasa, we cut off the ola. The priya atara, and we reveal with the crown. Leman kedush shmo yisbarach, for the sake of Hashem's holiness. Kadesh b'zar kodesh al pasuk. Every place where you mention my name, Da Mila, my name is Mila, and that's the rest of the pasuk. The Maglei Sedek the Man Shemo is to reveal Hashem's name, and that's what we're doing here, revealing the name, revealing the Man Shemo, doing it for the sake of Hashem. So this is now how's this connecting to the journey? Rambam says that we journeyed Bnei Yisrael from Ramses and we camped in Sukkot. Ki Eretz Mitzrayim Shatufei Zima. What happened in Eretz Mitzrayim? What were we doing in Egypt, back in America, back in the day? We were spilling seed, having fun, God forbid, Shmos Rabbah. Dahainu Tivas Teshuka Zaras. We were busy with foreign tivers into, whatever it was in those days. For me, it was Pamela.
This is recorded. Let's keep it.
I'm doing tshuva. I don't care. Everyone can know my past. Ramses High Shorish Eretz Yisrael. Ramses was the root. Look, in Bnei Yisrael was publicized. They were going through these problems. Ramses Shorish Eretz Mitzrayim. Asher Alkain Kricha. One of the things that Am Yisrael is very transparent about our journey. We're very real about our issues. We're not hiding anything. Asher Alkain Kricha Eretz Yisrael. Levanas, it says. Ramses like we were forced to build the land of Ramses. So we're going out from Ramses and we're camping in Sukkah. Yeah, she kavanas on the shores chas shalom b'levavas Yisrael to gavras atayva. What was happening over there? The kavanah of the root was chas shalom of the hearts of Yisrael to be busy with tayvas. Eiger more Hashem Ram says sheish ba osis ram. Sharoma is a tayvas through ram v'rash. No problem. But osis masa shu loshen techina. Loshen hamasas. Shemora gamkein alzeh. Move on. So the point is, we're journeying out from Ramses because we're going out from the shorish of Ra, bad. Zeh bechinas mila. So the beginning of the passage where it says Ramses is mila. We're getting rid of this order that we got in Mitzrayim, we got in Ramses, and we're going. We're going to the place of Sukkot, Sesa de Menusa, the place of Amunah. Lala Tachos Gadfei. We're going to the bron under the wings of the Shechina. Bechinas Priya. That's the Priya. Remember we said Mila Priya. What's Mila? Getting rid of the Ramses, Mitzrayim, and going towards what? The Sukkot, the Kamfei Shechina. The Sukkah is this dwelling of the Shechina. And that's the Priya, that's revealing the Kedusha. You have to do it in a safe place, in the right place. The Kedusha is there, Ikar Shlemus, Eiger. Hashem Tamim. And then he goes on to say, but anyway, we should be blessed to a Mila and a Priya and to have Yira. And with that, we'll be blessed and a Shlemus and Nefesh and only good and a beautiful Shabbos. Yeah, Baruch Hashem.